Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Gandy here in the News 19 Weather Center. We're still monitoring Tropical Storm Irma as it's moving through the southeast. This is a little different satellite view that I'm showing you tonight. This is at a wavelength of the satellite where we can actually see water vapor in the atmosphere. And as it turns out, we can do so. We can distinguish between moist air and we can also the dry air. Well, one of the things that happened once Irma made landfall in Florida is it started tapping some dry air that was over the Gulf of Mexico, and it has continued to do so. That has changed the character of this tropical system. It helped to expand the wind field as it was weakening, and it has also changed the area that was receiving rain, where all the rain was ahead of the system rather than behind the system. Well, here is where the center is, right here in southwestern Georgia. And notice the dry air here that's been coming up into South Carolina, now even moving into the upstate region, and that is affecting the amount of rain that's falling in the area. This is a look at the regional radar. You can see there's still some rain, particularly a lot of light rain occurring over in Georgia. But here, you can see how the heavier rain bands have been shrinking somewhat. And that's good news for us because it means now the rain is a little bit more focused, not as widespread as it was. Now let's go into the Columbia radar. And you can see this. You can see like this band right here near the Augusta area. We have another band that's been coming into Columbia. And here in Columbia, what we've been experiencing is it rains and then it lets up. It rains and then it lets up. And that's kind of the character here. And if you go back even further, you can see that these heavier rain areas are getting smaller and smaller and fewer and far between. So that's an indication that our rain is winding down. It probably won't end until after midnight, but it is winding down. And in Orangeburg, where we got so much rain, that's good news. In fact, we got a report earlier this evening down from Roseville where they had 5.3 inches of rain. Now, this is Doppler estimated rainfall amounts, and the least amount of rains have been across the northern part of the Midlands. Fairfield County generally, and they're 1 to 2 inches of rain. Here in Columbia, we have closed in now on about 2 inches of rain at the airport. Might be a little bit more, particularly here in the lower part of Richland County. Go to the south into Orangeburg County, and the rainfall has ranged from about 2.5 to almost 6 inches of rain. And you can see the same amount of rain down here in southern Clarendon County. So it's been the southern Midlands that has seen the most rain. Our winds are beginning to change as well. These are the sustained winds. Nothing like what we were seeing earlier. The winds are sustained at 20 miles per hour here in Columbia, 16 in Sumter, 12 in Orangeburg, 17. The higher sustained winds are in the upstate region. When we look at the wind gust, we're seeing something similar. In fact, the winds are gusting to 45 in Anderson, 41 in Greenville. But here in Columbia, they're only gusting to 28, 25 in Sumter, and 23 miles per hour in the Orangeburg area. So our winds are decreasing. That's good news. Now, temperatures. This is kind of interesting because we've seen south of the boundary some warm air, and that warm air has gradually been moving inland. And now in Orangeburg, it's 75 degrees. That's their high for the day. Here in Columbia, we're still holding at 68. Same thing over in Sumter, but it's not inconceivable that we could see this warm air surging all the way up into the Columbia area this evening. And if that's the case, we may actually see the temperature rise here after midnight tonight. Now, I know some of you have questions about Hurricane Jose. Well, as of the 8 o'clock advisory, it had maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour, moving north at 12 miles per hour. Now, here's the forecast over the next 5 days. It's expected to do a loop in the Atlantic and actually head back toward the United States. Now, it's going to be weakening, but 5 days from now, they project that it may still have sustained winds at around 85 miles per hour, and this is by Saturday afternoon. Now, beyond this, for which there are no official forecasts, but the medium-range computer models indicate that this system eventually, before it can get to the United States, will turn, head toward the north, and either head up toward New England or pass offshore. So we don't think that Hurricane Jose is going to be a problem here in the Midlands. Tony, do we have some questions this evening that we can answer?
Well, again, a lot of people were really asking a lot about Jose. I kept seeing question after question about that one.
Exactly, and it's cause for concern because we've already had two powerful hurricanes in Harvey and Irma. We need to recover a little bit, but I don't think Jose is going to be a problem.
I know some people are just kind of wondering maybe when the winds are going to go down, because obviously some of these power crews may have a little trouble getting out.
Yeah.
Until they go down completely.
Well, that's true, and those winds are coming down. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we're only seeing winds gusting now to near 30 miles per hour across the Midlands, so things are getting better. I think very soon the crews will be out there working on the lines.
Yeah, and I guess looking ahead, what are we can expect tomorrow? Because people are wondering, okay, when the winds die down.
It's still going to be a little breezy. We're expecting winds to be about 10 to 20 miles per hour. It's going to be mostly cloudy tomorrow. We'll see some sunshine. And we're going to be seeing, with mostly cloudy skies, it's still going to be warming up. We should see a high temperature tomorrow around 81 degrees. By the time we get to Wednesday, though, it's definitely going to be much better. It'll be partly cloudy, 85 degrees. There'll be a chance for some thunderstorms on Thursday. But as we head toward the weekend, and this is typical after hurricanes, it's going to be very warm. It's going to be humid. It's a good thing the game Saturday is at night because it's going to be a bit uncomfortable during the day.
Somebody even asked about is something forming off the coast. I don't know. Maybe there's a tropical wave out there? I'm not sure.
Well, there are always disturbances out there, but there's nothing that shows anything developing that's imminent.
And yeah, I guess maybe some people are still, they want to, I guess across the Midlands, the rain is going to start ending. What is the time frame again?
Well, it's already beginning to wind down. Now, if it's still raining where you are, it's probably because you're in one of those bands. I think I can get to the radar here. Let's go a little bit closer in here so we can see. You can see these bands here. If you're in one of these bands, then you're going to see rain for a little bit longer. Here in Columbia, the rain is winding down. It's occasional bursts of rain that's coming through now. But notice down in Orangeburg, they're really not getting much rain. That's good news for them. And things turned out the way we kind of thought it would in general. We have been looking at the rainfall data coming in, and we've seen generally 2 to 4 inches of rain across the Midlands, but down here in parts of Orangeburg County and Clarendon County, that's where you've seen the heaviest rain. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those come in at around 6 inches.
Some people, I'll take this one. Somebody asked when, if there was a rumor that the power crews were going to not go back out till 6:30. No, as far as we know, all power crews are going to try to work through the night. So people are trying to get your lights back on. It just may take a little while here.
Yeah, and keep in mind there are a lot of people without power. It's going to take a little bit of time. So they may not be able to get all the power restored tonight. You're just going to have to be a little bit patient. I'm sure that I'm without power as well.
Yeah, it looks like if people are commenting on this, a lot of the outages are kind of clustered here on the southeast side of Columbia.
Yeah.
So there's, and in fact, I just heard a report there was some power that came back on
and went back off.
Right back off.
Yeah, well,
about an hour later.
And we still have gusty winds, but it's not as bad as it was. And in fact, if we can kind of jump ahead to those are the sustained winds, but let's jump to the gust. Generally 28, 30 miles per hour. That's pretty much the wind gust here through the central Midlands. Down in the southern part of the Midlands now, it's more like about 25 mile an hour wind gusts. You get up to Newberry and into the upstate. That's where you're still seeing the stronger wind gust as well as along the immediate coast. But things are getting better. It wasn't too long ago that we were seeing winds gusting to 45, 50 miles an hour.
And I just want one more thing. Somebody just asked again about tornadoes. Pretty much the tornado is over.
The tornado watch ends officially at 10 o'clock. We looked at the Doppler radar. There does not appear to be anything at this time. And the watch at the moment is only for Orangeburg County. So we haven't seen anything that would warrant a tornado warning anywhere in the Midlands for now. So the threat of tornadoes is diminishing, and it'll continue to weaken overnight.
I think that may just about do it, Jim, unless you want to wrap up with any other points here.
Well, we're going to continue watch. We're going to continue to see some rain through the evening, but it should be out of here after midnight. These wind gusts are going to continue to go down. The power crews will be out. They'll be working on things, and we will have a complete report of what's going on today and what you can expect going forward coming up tonight at 11 o'clock.
All right, thanks, everybody.